Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Money Mindset Hub podcast. I'm your host, Kyla Townsend, and I'm a money mindset and success coach for female entrepreneurs. So, today I want to talk to you about the way to actually follow through and what to do when it doesn't look like it's going to work. Like what to do when it looks like everything's not going to plan. I should just quit. I should just give up. I knew this wasn't the right offer. Or maybe this wasn't the right time. Maybe it's not the right price point. Whatever it is, whatever reason it is that you're giving yourself that it's not working, I just need to have this conversation with you. So buckle in if you are ready to actually learn how to trust yourself and see it through, especially when things don't seem to be going your way, because this truly is the key to self leadership and self discipline and building self trust within yourself that you can follow through no matter what and that it will always work in your favor. So let's dive in. Now, the first thing I want to start with is you are always either compounding towards your success or away from your success. So you get to choose in which direction you're actually compounding. So be honest with yourself right now. Have your recent habits been compounding towards what you want? Or is it compounding in the other direction? Like if you keep up the same habits, routines, are you compounding away from your desires and away from your big vision and your big mission? Now, when I say that, I mean like the little things, the daily actions. So, do you show up? Do you send that email every week? Do you do those posts every week? Do you follow through with what you say you're going to do? Do you begin to create offers and then lose momentum? Like, what is it? And then ask yourself, are your results currently, right now, what you're experiencing? Are they what you choose to experience going forward? Okay. Because your results right now are from past actions, inactions, or reactions. So let me say that again. Your results right now are based on blah, 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 your past actions, reactions, and inactions. So your results right now, basically the compounding effect of what you used to do or did in the past. Now, the beautiful thing about that is that you choose to change it now. It means that you're actually changing your own trajectory. And it means that you're actually compounding in a different direction if the current direction is not where you desire to stay. So I want you to think about this. Now, this episode was inspired by one of my clients who I am incredibly proud of because I have witnessed her over the last 5 months whilst being in the mastermind really follow through and not allow herself to stay in the patterns of behavior that would keep her stuck. And what happened last week? So on Thursday last week, we're in Voxer when we're checking in. And Voxer is an app that I used to check in with my private clients and my mastermind clients. And we were checking in and she was running an event on the weekend. And it was a beautiful, beautiful event, like this rebirth of her business and her new direction. And it's just all coming together so perfectly. And it was happening on the Sunday. Now, at this point on Thursday, she had only had a couple of spots filled and she was this close to quitting. She was this close to calling it a day. That close all the way up until the event. Now, in the end, she almost tripled the amount of people from the Thursday to the actual Sunday. So it's within 72 hours, she almost tripled the amount of people that were actually coming to that event. But she almost gave up. Now, on the other side of this beautiful event and her literally going through all the things like, it's not going to go the way that I planned. I shouldn't do it. I should just put it off. I should change. Like she had this demon in her head that she was battling. And we all know what that is, right? It's our inner critic, that inner voice. My husband and I like to call it the inner bitch. It's your inner bitch going, no, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't, like, just keep you safe, basically, at the end of the day. Thank you, inner voice, but I am not going to listen to you because we're going to keep going. And this is what I said to her as well. In this moment right now, is your choice to choose to actually learn to lead yourself and to develop self-trust and to develop self-discipline to actually follow through and commit to you and your vision. And what this is doing, the compound effect of you actually following through is such a bigger effect than what you can imagine, because it is actually signaling to the universe, to source, whoever it is you believe in, that you are ready to level up. And every time you are on the edge, like at your edge, and you feel that resistance and you feel all these thoughts coming up like the spiral, it's like a domino effect of don't do it, this and that and all the other, like everything just feels so heavy. But you know that your gut, your intuition is saying, do it, do it anyway. That means that you're on an edge. Now, the beautiful thing that happens on the other side of that edge is that you have leveled up. It's like a game. Every time you overcome that, you build more self-trust, you build more self-confidence, you build more self-belief that you can do hard things. Everything is hard until it's not. And the moment you actually overcome your fear and you do it anyway, regardless of the million thoughts that are going through your head, that is when you know, like, I did it. And I tell you what, come Monday, the day after her event, she was magnetic. Her energy, when we caught up, her energy, she was so proud of herself. It was a complete 180 in a couple of days, because she did not succumb to listening to that voice and play the victim and allow it to win. She rose up and she said no. And she leveled up. And within doing that, she immediately booked the next date for her event. She's going to do it again and she's going to go harder and she's going to learn the lessons that she's going to need to learn from this past event. What would she do differently? How would she market differently? Did she actually follow it through? What were the things that she could have done? Did she give it her best shot? And that's what I kept saying to her throughout the whole time in actually launching it was, you have to know that you have given it everything you possibly could to actually make it be a success, because it's all good and well to be like, I want to get this many people and this is the time and date and cost and this many people are going to come up. And then you know, put a couple posts out, a couple of emails, and then you just, should be sweet. I trust and surrender that people will come if they're supposed to. But actually, in actual fact, if you don't see it through, if you will become a victim to the voice in your head and you stop talking about it, you stop posting about it, you stop emailing about it, you stop putting out invitations about it, and you're not lit up about it, people will feel that energy. Following through builds evidence that you follow through, that you are that kind of woman, that you are that sort of CEO. Because at the end of the day, you're running a business and not a hobby. We're here to make money, okay? We're here to make a shit ton of money because that means we can do a shit ton of good in the world. But I want you to remember, every time that you go to execute on anything that it might be, but especially with a new offer or a new launch or whatever it is, did you see it all the way through, or did you give up at the halfway mark and then just call it a day? Because by doing that, you are just keeping yourself stuck. Now, I talk a lot about income plateaus, and I have this conversation so often. When people get to income plateaus and they just seem to stay stagnant at the same amount, it is because they have not risen beyond their comfort level. They have still stayed within the walls of comfort. Even if I don't think they have, your results are not working or going the way that you would like them to because you are actually staying small. So when you keep yourself small based on the evidence that you've already collected, that's when you need to stretch yourself to gain new evidence. And this was something that we actually spoke about after this event, because she said to me, I've booked it again. I asked for testimonials. I did this, I did that. And I was so proud that she's already like, it's, I feel like she must have my words in repeat in the back of her mind. Like the minute she executes, it's like, what about this? What about this? What about this? So she gets it done, and it's beautiful because she's building that structure in her business so that she can be in her feminine, where she belongs, where she loves, where she thrives. But you have to have both. You have to have the masculine structure to be able to support you to create that space. Otherwise, it's kind of like a wishing, washing, what do I do today? And how do I do this? And here's my goals. And I don't really have a strategy to get there. And when you have a plan without a strategy, it's just a wish. And often they don't come true. Often it's not coming true because nothing's actually happening. Nothing tangible is really happening. There's no structure. So being able to have that structure allowed her to be in her feminine wish, allowed her to show up and go through on the day. Then past that, we were having this conversation around, okay, the next event. How many people would you like at the next event? And she said the same number of people that actually showed up on the weekend. And I said, no, 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 double it, at least double it. And she wasn't sure. And I said, my reflection to her was that I believe that she was staying with that number because that was comfortable and because she'd already collected the evidence that she could get that amount of people in the room for that type of event. So if she stretched it, she didn't have the evidence yet that more than that would come. But this was her opportunity to stretch herself. So remember that when you're setting goals too, or when you're trying to think about how many people do I want in this program or this offer or whatever it might be. Don't base your goal off what you have already accomplished, what you already have the evidence for that you can do. Push yourself. Go harder. Do better. You can do what? You can do more. What is 1% better or more improved that you could do this time than what you did last time? Learn off everything. It's just trial and error. It's just experimentation. But the thing is, once you actually build out your own launch strategy of how you want to launch things, how many emails do you want to do? How many posts you want to do? What do you want to talk about? What are you going to share? What's your messaging? What's your marketing? All of these sorts of things. Like you're building that, you're conditioning your audience to convert. First of all, that makes it so much easier. But then you actually craft your own plan. Now, when the hard thing happens is you actually have to see that through, right? You have to see your plan through and do not quit halfway. Do not call it a day halfway because there's so many times that people get FOMO in the last minute. Like you have to go even harder in the days leading up to it, harder in the moments that are leading up to the actual go live, the event, the start, the whatever it is, cart closed. You have to go harder because people are like, they need to hear from you and they need to hear from you several times to know if that is this for me? Is that not for me? I don't know. Is she love about it? Because your energy is so felt. When you are not when you are not enthusiastic or excited or you cannot wait to share this offer or opportunity or event or whatever it is with the world, people feel that. And people feel like, well, if you're not excited, what am I going to buy for you? Because that's not going to be exciting for me. And you know that. But follow through, stretch yourself. Make sure your dreams, your goals, the numbers that you want to hit beyond the level that you've already accomplished. Go beyond that. Stretch yourself to get new evidence of what is possible for you. And also look at other people who you admire and who inspire you and look at them for evidence because if she can do it, so can you. And you absolutely can. Sometimes it is literally just this little 1% tweak. Maybe it's in your marketing. Maybe it's in your messaging. Maybe it's in your energetics. Maybe it's in the way that you lead yourself. Maybe it's in the way that you don't allow your thoughts to derail you and you don't self-sabotage and procrastinate and not actually follow through. There is so much within you and you are so multifaceted. There are so many layers to go through. But the art of learning to follow through no matter what, will serve you not just in your business, but in your life in so many ways. So I hope this helped you. I hope if you are on the verge of launching something or you know too that you launch something and the momentum's there and everything feels good and you go, go, go. But as soon as something starts to look like it's not going to work out, you actually start to fall back into old patterns of like retreating and not being seen and not posting and just, oh, it just didn't work again. You've got to break that pattern to actually break the income plateau and shatter your income ceiling. That's just the way of entrepreneurship. That is just a part of the game. And I know you can do it. And I'm excited to talk to you more about this kind of thing. But I hope that helped. And yeah, thank you to my beautiful client, Kimberly. And I will put her Instagram handle in the show notes too at Miss Intuitive because she's beautiful and she's remarkable. And I'm so proud of her for doing this and pushing beyond her comfort zone to do something that she would have in the past retreated from and probably canceled that event. But she did not do it because it was her next level calling her. And look out for what's to come. Okay, I'll see you next week.